This video is about fixing a squeaky floor in your house. If you can get underneath the floor where it's squeaky easily, then this may not be a difficult repair. If you do what I did, then you may be able to fix your squeaky floor free, which worked for us. I like that a lot. If it's not accessible underneath the floor, or you're going to have to crawl underneath the house or something, then you might not want to do that. I wouldn't. But if you can easily get to the floor underneath where the squeak is occurring, then you might want to watch this video. It could save you years of listening to a squeaky floor, or hundreds or thousands of dollars if somebody was to repair it for you. Okay. No, I don't see it. Okay. Okay. So I split these little pieces of wood to about the right size that I needed. This is actually part of this, which is a paint stir stick. So this is how I created my little shims look like the right size for me. I used a hammer and split it. Now with this little piece, that should fit in there pretty nicely, and I will hammer it in until it's snug. I won't force it, but just to the point where it is snug. And then I'll do it on the other side. And if I need to, I'll put up more just like it. So each one of these has a thin line that gets slightly thicker. So we'll see how they do. This is the end on this one. That looks good to me. So here are my shims. We'll see how they do. My helper is going up. She'll be there in a second. I'm hoping there's some improvement. I had heard that it was a big deal to fix squeaky floors, and possibly or probably expensive also. So I never really considered to do that or have somebody do it. But then one day I said, well, why don't I go to YouTube? Why don't I Google search and see what is involved in fixing a squeaky floor? And as I looked through various online articles, I found one that showed placing shims under the flooring beneath where the squeak is occurring. And when I went into my basement, I noticed that my floor looked just like the same floor in the online article, and I said, well, if it worked for them, maybe it'll work for me. So I searched out where the squeak was by having my wife walk on the floor, and ultimately I could feel where the squeaks were. I could actually feel the boards moving a little bit and located where the squeaks were. I cut my own shims out of wood that I had lying around, and I pushed them into the spaces as near to where the squeaks were occurring, and I placed them on either side of the beam. So I had the shims on both sides of that beam. You could only see one side. And when she walked across the floor again, I was discouraged because I could still hear squeaking. But when I came upstairs and walked on the floor myself, I saw that we had fixed a good part of the squeaking floor. There's one spot left that I can work on later, but I know how to do it now. And I have confidence that I can fix it if I want to. Most of the job is done because this is the area I was worried about. This is where I walk every day. And it made a lot of noise when I would walk here. I can still hear a few isolated little squeaks, but this is the spot right here in the video where I was walking. And you could really hear a loud, annoying squeak when I would do this. It's barely noticeable now. Now I will say that where my toolkit is, If I move my toolkit, I could create another squeak. There is still one more squeak to silence. But I am very pleased. In fact, I'm thrilled because this room is my office, and it's pretty annoying walking from my chair to my table over here and making all those squeaks. So I'm glad I can do it now, and this old house is a much nicer place to live. Thanks for watching the video.